Hi, and welcome to A Drummer's Guide to, the podcast all about the things that it takes to be a professional musician aside from actually playing your instrument, which we're going to take as a given, and it is an endless process. In fact, all of this is an endless process. My name is Emily Dolan Davis. I am a drummer by trade, been playing for 25 years at this point, a quarter of a century, and I am here to just share my experience with you, and hopefully it can help you along your way to being a professional musician, hopefully, fingers crossed. If only just to let you feel less alone, because I often felt very alone when I was coming up and am I the only one? And my best friend was a drummer too. So yeah, anyway, we digress. So today I want to talk about something that has been very prevalent for me recently, and that is being sick as a session musician, as a freelancer. It is a nightmare. And as I record this, there is an animal, and I don't know what it is, that is nearby that sounds so unwell. I don't know what's happening. So if you hear that, what is that? If you heard that, what is that animal? And are they okay? They sound like they're dying. So anyway, I felt like I was dying last week. No, I didn't feel like I was dying, but I had this horrible coldy, flu-y thing. It wasn't COVID. I did a test twice because I was like, oh my gosh, I just don't need it to be COVID, please. But anyway, it wasn't. So it was obviously some sort of coldy, flu-y thing. It was one of these things where it sort of came on a Tuesday, I think, and it was just enough to kind of ruin my energy levels, but not enough that I sounded particularly sick, if that makes sense. So I had all the bad side of being sick, but then not enough to get any blooming sympathy. No, I'm joking. But it was enough that it kind of floored me, and I was like, oh, it's just so frustrating, because at the end of the day, I'm freelance. Therefore, if I don't do this work, it doesn't get done. Things like, doing my social media posts, things like reaching out to people and getting back to people and doing emails and doing Instagram messages and recording episodes. I'm a week late in recording this episode because I just couldn't muster the energy, not only just to record the episode, but to feel creative about it. I have to have an element of rest and relaxation to creatively be able to talk on all of these subjects. So I was just like, I just can't do it. I just don't physically have the energy, and it was awful. And then it just got worse. Okay, it was kind of my fault, because I was doing stuff. I was still reading books, like business books and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. But obviously it's not just like fiction where you can relax. It's I'm highlighting stuff, I'm writing stuff down, I'm working. There's a course that I'm doing at the moment. I kind of watched a bit more of the course, which I probably shouldn't have done. I should have just sat and slept, watched TV, all that sort of stuff, which I did a little bit, but not enough, clearly, because it just went on and on and on, and it just got worse and worse and worse. I started finally feeling a little bit better on Saturday, I think it was. I felt so unwell, I did not go to boxing. That's how much you should know I was feeling unwell, and I still feel gross for that. I'm still not 100%, but I'm good enough. So I might be a bit sniffly and a little bit bunged up, only slightly, so it's kind of fine. But I thought that it would be really important to talk about being sick. Now, weirdly, I actually made a video on this years ago. I want to say 2018, maybe 2019, when I was out with Kim Wilde, and I was actually sick on the road, and I thought, right, I'm gonna do an episode about this in real time. And I don't remember why I didn't release it. I think it was probably something around admitting that I was sick on the road, or I can't actually remember. There was a reason. Maybe it wasn't very coherent. I've still got it. I could still actually post it. Maybe I should post it as part of this video. But anyway, no, because I just thought, let me speak on this, because it's happened so recently, and kind of, because I was talking about being sick, a lot of people reached out and were like, what do you actually do when you're sick? How do you actually handle that? So I thought I'd speak about it in the different kind of scenarios, being a freelancer, being a session musician, because obviously I'm a session musician, I'm a freelancer in many different aspects, and the different aspects I handle sickness very differently in different situations. So the first thing to obviously say, it's kind of a given, is kind of obvious. I, first of all, try to mitigate being sick as best I can. And I do that through eating well, through doing exercise. Not very well at the moment. I am doing boxing. I need to do just a little bit more, just a tad more. It's just not quite enough. I think I need to do more skipping. And then rest, like sleeping and all that sort of stuff. Like, and also, say I'm coming up to a period of time where I'm about to go on tour. If say I know that someone else is sick, I'm going to not be around them, obviously. It just, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's impacting my work. So I need to be very thoughtful about that. So yeah, those are the obvious things that I try and do. But obviously, and if I do feel something coming on, I will take vitamin C, for instance. I will do extra things, like I will rest more to try and get rid of it. I will eat more fruit, I already eat quite a lot of fruit and veg, but I will, you know, increase those to just kind of bring it back, do you know, from the brink, as it were. But inevitably, sometimes it does happen, and I will speak on the different environments that I found myself in when I'm sick and just how I deal with that, because it's so boring. It's such a nightmare. So the first one and the most difficult one is when you're on the road. I hate being sick on the road. And even more than that, I hate when other people are sick on the road. I don't hate the person, but it's like, I know that once one person is sick on the road, if you're doing a bus tour especially, we're all going to get sick. Like, it's just inevitable. Like, just tell me when it's going to happen. It's such a nightmare. So the way that I try to deal with that is, first off, my number one thing is that I have a little pharmacy, mini pharmacy, that I take on the road with me at all times, because it can be the difference between being able to do my job and not. So in terms of what I include in my mini pharmacy, my little bag, I've got things like Rennie for heartburn, and that also helps me with if I ever feel nauseous, very occasionally on the bus. And it's completely psychosomatic. I will feel a little bit nauseous, and I don't like the physicality of being sick. No, like throwing up, vomiting. No. I've got a big phobia around that. It's my worst. It's literally my worst fear is throwing up. Ever, actually. And slugs. I don't like slugs. Anyway, so that's Rennie. Then I have Imodium, which has sorted me out so much in terms of being able to go on stage, where it will have been an absolute problem. Only once in my life, there was a gig that I did at Birmingham with Howard Jones where I was not well at all, to the point that I actually ended up going off stage for one of the songs, because I was so unwell, and I managed to, I mean, goodness knows how I managed to do that. But anyway, I did. It happened. And I did not embarrass myself too much. Although people did notice, like, why did you go off in that song? I was like, I'm not very well. I'm not very well. So Imodium, another big one. It means that you can do your job. That's the main thing. Then I'll have, you know, things like cold and flu remedies, vitamin C, what else? Like antihistamines or like anti-allergy tablets. Obviously, if you get seasick, it's good to have that sort of stuff, or travel sick. I don't even know what that's called. I don't have that stuff. I probably should, really. And yeah, just things like that, basically. So I will always have a little bag of drugs, essentially, and or nasal spray, stuff like that. And that is so that if anything happens, at least I've got something that I can take to kind of combat it, and immediately. Because obviously, yes, you could buy stuff when you're away, but first of all, if you're in different countries, you don't know necessarily what you're getting if you don't have a good translator or or whatever else. Like, you don't actually know what's in those drugs and if it's going to work for you. Also, you don't know what the side effects might be in terms of like drowsiness, so it's better to kind of use what you know, like, if you can. Obviously, sometimes you have got to succumb to whatever is around, and that's fine. You deal with that as it comes. Oh, melatonin as well, very useful. Because this is the other thing. These things will also help you be able to rest more. Things like nasal spray. Like, for me, if I've got a blocked nose, I cannot sleep. I literally cannot sleep. Oh, I have those nasal strips as well. Because if I can use a nasal strip, I'll do that first. But if it's still going, I'm like, I have to use a spray because I need to sleep. That is my number one thing on the road. I need my sleep. Otherwise, I am no use to anyone. So, but again, I know this about myself, so I know what to what eventualities to plan for. So kind of think about what you need on the road to be rested, to be at your best, and then have medicines that could counteract that if you, aside from actually if you do get sick, in terms of like cold, flu, whatever else. So first of all, have your own pharmacy. That's what I always do. It's funny because my family are the same. I didn't even realise. Like, my dad has the same thing. A little pharmacy bag that he takes on every trip that he does. Didn't know that until recently. I think my sister does too. I'm not sure. Anyway, my mum always, constantly. So yeah, little mini pharmacy, very, very useful. Also very useful if other people are sick, like to be able to give that to other people, like as a quick remedy. Lozenges as well are very good. Yeah, very, very good. And let's say you do feel yourself getting sick, I'd say first of all, isolate yourself as best you can. I would also maybe say don't mention it. Don't mention why. Just say, oh, I'm just feeling a bit tired or whatever. Like, use that sort of excuse, because my number one rule when I'm sick is if I can help it, I will not let the artist know, because I have found that, generally speaking, if artists think that people around them are getting sick, all of a sudden they feel like they're getting sick. And obviously, if it's anything to do with the throat or anything like, well, in fact, anything to do with anything, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. And you don't want, it's hard enough getting up on stage as an artist and singing and doing the thing. You don't want to add to that. So I not only isolate myself from everyone that I can so that they don't get sick, I do not let the artist know. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I do not, unless I absolutely have to, because I don't want to bring any sickness at all, but also any psychosomatic type things. Is that the right word, psychosomatic? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, ideally I will not let them know, and then hopefully get better in my own time. Like, hopefully it's a day off and I can literally sleep the whole day and just lock myself away and eat as well as I can and do all those things. That is kind of my plan. Obviously, sometimes it's inevitable that the artist has to know, the band has to know. Again, isolate as best I can. And if you're like on a bus, it's very difficult, but just stay in your bunk. Just stay in your bunk and stay away from everyone, and go get some fresh air or whatever. But it's, it's horrible. And when someone else is unwell and they're isolating, like, go check that they're all right. See if they need anything. Like, make sure they're drinking water, hydrate, all the usual stuff that you know what to do when you're sick, like all that sort of stuff. Like, look after people as best you can. Obviously, masks are a good idea too. I suppose that's completely normalised now. I hadn't even thought of that. So maybe take a mask or two with you as well. That's actually a really good shout. I'll probably do that from now on, because at least that way you can sort of semi be around people or be outside and kind of get some fresh air, but not infect everyone. I suppose you could sleep with a mask on as well if you wanted to, and if you don't want to get sick, you can be the one wearing the mask also. I hadn't thought about that actually. That's a really good shout. Yeah, take a mask, put a mask in that pharmacy bag with you whilst you're at it. So let's talk about if you're doing work that means that you're at home. Like, let's talk about if you're doing the remote recording thing, if you're teaching online, or as I do, doing coaching or mentoring or whatever. What I would say, and I'm kind of talking to myself here, is only do what you absolutely have to. And if it means maybe rescheduling stuff with people, just do that, because people understand. People understand that you get sick and that's okay. So yeah, like, only do what you absolutely have to, and then all of the time, either side of that, just rest, go to bed. The whole joy of working from home remotely is that you do have the ability to do what you want and do what you need more than anything. It's very difficult because, being a freelancer, we all have this mentality of, if I don't do this work, it's not going to get done. And therefore I'm not going to get paid, and I need to get paid, and that's it. Like, so I work myself to the bone, to be honest, when I shouldn't, when I should be resting. To the point that right now, as I'm speaking, I'm suddenly very aware that I am still a little bit bunged up, and I'm probably overdoing this today because honestly, this is the 4th episode that I've actually recorded today, and I was planning on doing a 5th, but now I'm becoming hyper aware that maybe I should be stopping after this and going and resting for the rest of the day before I end up going back the other way. So yes, that's interesting. It's a bit meta. It's a little bit meta. But yeah, so I think that just really trying to do the minimum that you can. And for me, I try to recognize that the best thing that I can do for myself right now is rest in the long run, rather than dragging this out to last for like a week, 2 weeks, where I could just rest and let it pass like in a couple of days, which is what I should have done last week, but I didn't. I did push it. I did too much. It's what I do. I need to change that. I need to change that. But yeah, I think just prioritizing rest and health, and just realizing that people understand, and it's not, no one's going to die if you don't, do this lesson with them right now, or record this song right now with them, for them, whatever. Like, one more day or a couple of more days or even a week is often not going to change the price of fish. Now, maybe there are some things that you can't get out of. That's fine. Just go do it. Dose yourself up as best you can. Like, give yourself the best shot. Take all the medicine you can, all the vitamins you can. Eat some good food. Hydrate. Like, get it done quickly, effectively, and then go to bed. And that's you. Like, do not do, and again, I'm talking to myself, sorry, I'm getting a little bit aggro, it's because I'm talking to myself right now, and this should actually give you a bit of insight in how I talk to myself, which is not great sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, just be kind to yourself and allow yourself to sit. And for instance, I'm watching The Sopranos right now for the first time. By the way, amazing series. Like, I should be allowing myself to go and watch The Sopranos, which I think I'm going to do after I record this episode. I think I'm going to go make myself some lunch, and I'm going to go and I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch The Sopranos for a couple of hours, and that's okay. Like, that is the joy of all the work that you do aside from, the day that you're sick. It's like, it should allow, or like, this lifestyle is hard. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to be freelance, be a session musician, be a remote recording person, to do teaching. That is hard. You're always creating your own luck. You're always, getting your own audience, or getting your own students, or whatever else. Like, and part of the privilege of doing that and working really hard the rest of the time is that you should be able to take the time when you're sick. Again, Emily, I'm talking to you, as in myself, not anyone else called Emily listening to this, which I know there are a couple of people. Hey, Emily, and hi, Emily. But yeah, so I think it is one of the benefits, and you should take that benefit, because there are lots of downsides of being freelance, but this is one of the benefits. So take it and allow yourself to have that. Like, we can all be so harsh to ourselves that, it's very easy to be harsh on ourselves, but actually kindness goes a long way, let me tell you. So I'd say just take the time, only do what you absolutely have to. And then the third thing is a very practical thing, and that is the reality of and again, it comes down to being a freelancer, is that if you're not working, you're not earning. So have a financial buffer, and what that will look like to you or me is going to be different. It's going to be different for everyone. Like, some people are fine if they have like a month's buffer, which I just know that's not enough for me. Some people are happy if they have a 3 month buffer, 6 month buffer, year buffer. Like, whatever you need to feel comfortable, that will allow you to be sick, will allow you to work in the way that you want to work. For me, it goes further than that. Like, for me, I need a financial buffer that makes me feel able to do things like this, doing a podcast for free for people, to help people. My financial buffer gives me enough space mentally to be able to do this and be like, I'm fine, I'll be okay, because I have enough to live on. If I lose everything right now, I will still be okay for X amount of time, and therefore I can continue to give back. And that is so important to me. It's like one of the most important things to me. But of course, all of that goes out the window if I'm not able to pay my bills. So I know that I'll be okay paying my bills for the next few months. So therefore, I'm happy doing this, and it does make me happy. It fulfills me in a way that I can't even tell you. So anyway, I mean, ideally, the ideal is that we don't get sick at all. That is awesome. That would be awesome, but it's just not realistic. So I think you can minimize the sickness and the recovery time through what you're eating, exercise, all that stuff. Resting is a big one, and it's one that I'm not very good at. I am better. I am loads better than I used to be. But yeah, just like doing relaxing things, and also not working yourself to the bone, and having a bit of balance when it comes to, you know, just not just resting, but doing other things. Because sometimes you can get so engrossed in the world of work and trying to, I don't know, like the grind, as it were, that it can literally grind you down. It can literally grind you down. And mentally, for me, my mental state and my physical state are very linked. Like, so linked. It's just so undeniable. So I do need that balance. I do, like, you know, I need to have the balance of different things, home life and leisure, if you like, and work, obviously, and family, and all these different things to make sure that I am not sick. I don't get sick in my mind and in my body. So yeah, I think mitigation is the best thing, but it's going to happen. So it's good to plan ahead for these things. And like I say, if I'm on the road, the best thing for me, having my mini pharmacy and then isolating from people. If I'm at home, it's more giving myself permission to be sick and allowing myself to rest, because I am my own worst taskmaster 100%. And then practically having a financial buffer that allows you to be unwell, allows you to take time off, I think is so important. And I think there's something mentally about that, like having that in the back of your head, like, no, it's fine. Even if I, like, forget about sickness, even if I don't work for a month, I'll be okay. And there's something comforting about that. There's something that allows you to kind of take maybe some risks, which is great. I think is a really good thing. So anyway, I hope that this has helped. I think this is quite a short episode for me. Is this not? 22 minutes. That is a short one for me, I feel. No? Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely day. If you've enjoyed this, please do feel free to like, share and subscribe. If you'd like to get onto my Session Musician Accelerator program, I've got a couple of slots left for the coming months. So please do get in touch. You can hit me up over on Instagram is probably the best place. So if you go instagram.com/EmilyDrumsCom. It's rubbish, I know. Just look up EmilyDrums.com. You will find me. I'm there. I'm the one with the blue tick. It's fine. But yeah, just come and shoot me a message and we can talk about, getting like, let's talk about your dreams and your goals, and then how I can help you get there, basically, because it fills me up in a way that is just like nothing else. So yes, anyway, I won't go on about that too much, but I hope that you're having a lovely day wherever you are, whatever you're up to, and I shall see you next week for another episode. Who knows what it'll be about? All right, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.